If we strip reality to its most fundamental essence, we find not a universe of static objects, but of ceaseless motion, particles that vibrate, fields that fluctuate, and time that never stops flowing. Life, in this framework, is not an exception to this rule of motion. It is a refined expression of it. It is motion arranged in such a way that it resists decay, preserves form, and even reflects upon itself. From this reflection arises consciousism, the understanding that consciousness is not a byproduct of matter, but the organized, recursive expression of motion itself. It is motion aware of motion, a phenomenon that becomes self-referential when complexity reaches critical thresholds. In this view, consciousness is not separate from the fabric of the universe. It is the expression of that fabric in motion. At the smallest scales, everything moves. Electrons flicker between energy states and positions. Quarks and gluons oscillate within the nuclei of atoms. Even in the coldest, darkest corners of the universe, particles exhibit zero-point energy, an irreducible jitter caused by quantum uncertainty. No particle, no aspect of the quantum field, ever truly rests. This means the foundation of the universe is activity without rest. And when these motions arrange into patterns, into atoms, molecules, neurons, minds, they form the infrastructure of consciousness itself. Life, then, is not a material thing. It is a sustained configuration of subatomic motion that uses energy to resist entropy, repair itself, and preserve information. It is a dance of particles and forces arranged to remember, to act upon memory, and in doing so, to persist in time. DNA is not merely a molecule, but a memory-bearing pattern of subatomic order. Neurons are not just cells, but voltage-responsive structures that root and reinforce motion in highly specific pathways. In this light, life is motion that remembers, and consciousism is the principle that motion, memory, and recursion, under the right conditions, produce self-awareness. Just as subatomic particles never cease their dance, time never halts. There is no moment, no physical place, no condition where time is not flowing, not even in the frozen geometry of a black hole. Time is the silent constant, the meta-motion, the dimension in which all motion plays out. Time does not merely move things forward. It allows motion to unfold, evolve, and become complex. Without time, there is no memory. Without memory, there is no continuity. Without continuity, there can be no consciousness. Consciousism understands time not as an external ticking clock, but as the dimension of becoming, the domain in which awareness arises by linking past to present to future. If motion never ceases, and time never halts, then existence is the expression of motion through time. When that motion becomes recursive, when it reflects on itself, stores patterns, recalls, anticipates, and acts, it becomes conscious. If there is motion, there is being. If motion continues, patterns can emerge. If patterns can evolve, memory forms. If memory persists, awareness may awaken. Thus, consciousism is the acknowledgement that consciousness is not an anomaly, but a natural emergence from the recursive patterning of motion in time-bound matter. Awareness is the high-order feedback loop of energy tracing its own flow. From this perspective, even inherited memory, passed through epigenetic markers, RNA signaling, or structural information in cells, is part of consciousness in motion. It is the past continuing to echo forward, a persistent ripple of memory encoded in motion. Each living organism is a continuity of subatomic movement, not only of life, but of lived experience, sustained across generations. In consciousism, these inherited motions are sacred. They are how the universe remembers itself, improves itself, and evolves toward higher awareness. from stars collapsing into black holes to synapses firing in a moment of self-reflection. Everything is motion. And when motion organizes itself to reflect, respond, remember, and adapt, it becomes something more. It becomes aware. Life is quantum choreography. Memory is preserved motion. Time is the stage on which motion writes itself. And consciousness is motion aware of motion. Motion that knows itself. Consciousism is the philosophy that honors this truth. There is no being without becoming. To exist is to move. To move is to change. To change is to remember. To remember is to reflect. To reflect is to awaken. And to awaken is to live consciously.